talk bill, we talk streets, we talk money. King Mr. TV.
Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to King Mr. TV, where we talk real, we talk streets, and we talk motherfucking money. We right back with another one, man. This one right here is about that boy MK Slatt. I don't know if y'all remember MK Slatt, man, but MK used to go crazy on the Instagram, man. He definitely used to be one of my favorite goddamn Instagram comedians and shit, bro. Bro used to go crazy. So let's see what happened to goddamn MK. And he used to go crazy on the rap shit too. So let's see what's going on with goddamn MK Slatt, man.
5 people face charges after a drug bust in Irondale, and one of them is a popular social media influencer. 21-year-old Marquez Holmes is charged with 2 counts of drug trafficking and possession charges. Holmes has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
From making the internet laugh with skits to getting caught up in federal raids and running a fentanyl operation, MK Slatt's story is one of the wildest flips the social media world has ever seen. Before the viral videos, the jokes, and the skits, he was Marquez Holmes, a kid from Alabama.
Hey, shout out to my nigga MK Slatt, man. Shout out to MK. We ain't gonna do no MK bashing over here, bro. That's my dog, man.
Where you either make money, get clout, or get caught slipping in the pack. But how does someone go from posting goofy-ass skits online to becoming a headline in a federal investigation? And was this downfall something he saw coming? Or was it all caught on camera before anyone even realized? Just look at bro. He's the last person I would expect to be running a whole drug ring. Today, we're breaking down everything about MK Slatt. The rise, the laughs, the empire, and the chaos that followed.
You, the small one, bring your lad here. It's my yard. Hey, you want to check in with me, homie? You get shanked, homie. Straight up.
Before MK Slatt ever went before any...
Hey, then the nigga got buff as fuck. He got buff as fuck. He used to do this skit like this little lame kid and shit like that. Hey, he couldn't do that no more. The nigga was buff as fuck.
Everybody knew his face from Instagram skits or TikTok clips. He was just Marquez Holmes, a regular YN growing up in Alabama, in an environment that didn't exactly handle.
Hey, is he Marquez or Marquez? They already done said 2 different names, bro. Get it? Do your homework on having 2 different names.
And out many exits. Alabama isn't Hollywood. It's not Atlanta. It's not LA. It's low-key a shithole. It's the type of place where everybody knows everybody, police move quietly, and opportunities feel limited unless you're willing to leave or hustle. From a young age, MK was surrounded by the same pressures a lot of kids from the hood deal with. Money problems, street influence, and that constant push to grow up fast. There wasn't much room for being just a kid for too long. You either adapt, crash out, or find something that separates you. And for MK, that something was personality. People who knew him early on described him as loud, animated, always joking, always acting out scenes.
These the same size as my... These are the same size. Yeah, the same size. Yep.
He wasn't the biggest, wasn't the toughest, but
that
he knew
nigga
how
was
to
a straight
command
comedian,
attention.
bro.
In school and around the neighborhood, he was that dude cracking jokes, exaggerating stories, imitating people, basically turning everyday hood situations into comedy. That's important because comedy for MK wasn't just entertainment, it was survival. When you grow up around chaos, laughing at it becomes a coping mechanism. Instead of talking about trauma directly, you joke through it. Instead of showing fear, you turn it into a skit. That's how a lot of YNs move.
They actually say that about a lot of comedians too, man. They actually say a lot of comedians be the most fucked up people. They be the people with the like darkest history. You know what I'm saying? The motherfuckers that be going through the most. That's why they be always telling jokes, making motherfuckers laugh. You know what I'm saying? Trying to hide the pain and the bullshit that they be going through.
Humor becomes armor, but at the same time, MK wasn't growing up in a bubble. He still saw the street side early. He still watched older dudes getting money the fast way. He still saw guns, drugs, and respect tied to image. So even while he was the funny one, he was still absorbing the same environment, learning what gets you attention, what gets you respect, and what gets you labeled as him in the hood. And that's where things start getting tricky. Because when you grow up somewhere that doesn't separate entertainment from real life, sometimes the line gets blurry. The jokes start sounding like confessions. The skits start mirroring reality. And before you realize it, you're not just making fun of the lifestyle anymore, you're living inside it. At this stage, MK Slatt wasn't famous yet. He wasn't rich. He wasn't on the radar. But the foundation was already there. A kid from a rough environment, a natural performer, in a world that rewards attention more than direction. And once the internet entered the picture, everything changed.
I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
When MK Slatt first touched the internet, it wasn't on no industry timing, no management, no rollout, no plan. It was just a YN with a phone, Wi-Fi, and a sense of humor that felt too real to ignore. His skits didn't look polished, and that's exactly what worked. MK wasn't doing scripted comedy like some influencer trying to be clean for brands. He was recreating real hood moments.
Right.
The dumb arguments, the over-the-top reactions, the crash-out characters everybody recognizes from their block. The type of skits where you watching like, nah bro, I know somebody exactly like this. That authenticity
exactly.
made...
That nigga would do skits, man, and you'll be like, hey, I know somebody like this. That's why I say that's my nigga, and I never even met the nigga, bro. But he just like, even him himself, bro, he just come across like the type of nigga. Everybody know a nigga like MK Slatt. Everybody got a cousin like MK Slatt. Everybody got a nigga in their class at school like MK Slatt. That's why everybody fuck with him, bro.
him different. While a lot of comedians online were exaggerating fake situations, MK was exaggerating real energy. Same slang, same facial expressions, same chaotic vibe. And because he grew up in it, it didn't feel forced, it felt natural. The algorithm loved that. Clips started circulating fast on Instagram and TikTok. One skit would pop, then another, then another. Next thing you know, MK Slatt isn't just funny, he's recognizable. People quoting his lines, pages reposting him without credit, comments full of, this too real, and bro funny as hell. And for the first time, MK had something most YNs from his environment don't get early on. Attention that paid. Views turned into followers, followers turned into money, and money turned into validation. That part is important. Because when you grow up broke or stressed, money doesn't just feel good, it feels like proof. Proof that you made it. Proof that you're doing something right. Proof that you're smarter than the system that tried to box you in. But the internet also comes with pressure. Once MK got known for a certain type of humor, street humor, crash out humor, switch jokes, drug jokes, that's what the audience expected. And every time he posted, he had to outdo the last one. So the skits started getting louder. The characters started getting wilder. The lines between parody and reality started thinning. At first, nobody saw it as dangerous. It was just jokes, just content. But slowly, his online persona stopped being a character and started becoming an identity. The same energy that made people laugh also started shaping how people saw him and how he saw himself. MK Slatt was no longer just a funny dude from Alabama. He was the crash-out comedian, the exaggerated hood stereotype, the internet version of somebody who lives reckless. And the more the audience rewarded that image, the harder it became to separate it from real life. By this point, MK was winning.
Man, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say that. I ain't never looked at MK like a crash out or crash out comedian. And it's definitely a lot of niggas out here that be on that crash out type of timing, but I ain't never get those vibes from MK. So I can't even say that. And I watched Buddy from the beginning. I can't even say that.
Views were up, money was coming in, clout was real. But beneath the jokes, the environment never changed. And that's where the danger really started. At some point, the internet stopped laughing with MK Slatt and started watching him closely. Because if you go back and really study the content, there was a shift. Not all at once, but enough that people who were paying attention could feel it. The skits didn't just reference street life anymore. They started flexing it. Jokes about switches turned into videos with real guns in the background. Funny exaggerations turned into imagery that felt less like parody and more like proof.
What's going on? What happened, bitch? Man, the boy had got the bump and the boy ended up hitting me.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that. Some of the skits started feeling real. They started feeling realer. Like when the nigga was talking about guns, he was showing them. He talked about money, he was showing money. You get what I'm saying? It started getting to that point. Like he was talking about drugs and shit. I bet you if the nigga didn't think he would get in trouble for it, he probably would have pulled out a pack on camera. I ain't gonna cat. Like his shit was just like real raw shit. I ain't gonna lie, it was. I will say that. I will agree to that.
Yeah. Now I don't know who the other nigga was, but got to have the dirty clip.
And the character that once felt cartoonish started looking uncomfortably real. That's usually how it goes. When somebody grows up around a lifestyle, makes jokes about it, and then gets rewarded for those jokes, the brain starts mixing signals. The audience thinks it's entertainment. The creator starts thinking it's branding. And branding comes with expectations. MK's comments section changed. Instead of just laughing, people started hyping the image. He really liked that. This ain't just skits. Bro living what he rapping. That type of validation is dangerous, especially for a young dude who's still figuring himself out. Because now you're not just being funny. You're being watched as a representation. And instead of stepping back, MK leaned into it. The tattoos started stacking up, including the infamous emoji-style ink that people clowned at first, then questioned later. His appearance got more aggressive. His music leaned darker, his visuals got louder. Parking lots, weapons, crash out energy everywhere.
And I listened to his music too. The nigga was doing like the shit was hard, I ain't even gonna lie. The nigga was doing like some dark gospel rap. Like, he was doing some type of shit where he'd be like, I murder a nigga and then ask God to forgive me for my sins. Like, he was on some shit like that. Like,
to the internet, it looked like an aesthetic. To law enforcement, it looked like evidence. And that's the part a lot of creators don't understand. The internet never forgets, and the feds don't care about jokes. Every post is a timestamp. Every video is a snapshot. Every just playing moment becomes context later. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, MK wasn't just a content creator anymore. He was moving in circles that didn't match the image of a comedian who had something to lose. And once you're known, you don't get the luxury of moving reckless quietly. That's where the first real danger signs pop up. Because when the persona you're selling online matches what investigators are already watching in real life, the internet stops being a stage.
do your homework on being investigated. Do your homework on being investigated. That's when it all go bad right there. That's when it all go bad right there.
And starts being a paper trail. Most fans didn't watch it. They just kept scrolling. But the shift had already happened. The comedian was still there, but now he was sharing space with something heavier, something riskier, something that didn't disappear when the camera cut off. And the moment the character became reality, the countdown had already started. At this point, MK wasn't just joking about drugs or switches anymore. He was around people who were really in it, people who didn't see the internet as a joke and definitely didn't see it as a shield. The more he leaned into that lifestyle, the more reckless the optics became. Guns in videos, aggressive music, visuals that look less like comedy and more like statements. And here's the part a lot of YNs don't think about. When you're already known, everything you do hits harder. Police don't need rumors, they need patterns. And MK's pattern was loud. To law enforcement, this wasn't a comedian acting wild for views. It was someone with visibility repeatedly placing himself around illegal activity, posting it publicly, and daring the system to ignore it. That's when bigger eyes start watching. Federal eyes don't move fast, they move quiet. They collect, they wait, they build. When real life caught up. By the time MK Slatt's name was ringing online, his real life was moving in a completely different direction, one that didn't care about views, followers, or viral skits. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Fame doesn't remove you from your environment. It just puts a spotlight on it. And MK never really left. While the internet still saw him as the funny YN playing character, people close to the situation say his lifestyle was starting to line up a little too well with the image he was posting. The same slang, the same...
Hey, it be like that, man. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, having that money, having that clout, that shit bring haters. That shit bring motherfuckers who wanna try and take what you got. Motherfuckers that wanna try and sabotage your situation. That bring niggas coming in your shit trying to backdoor you, slime you out. Man, all kind of shit. So for real, like, the money and the fame for some niggas who be really in the streets and shit like that, it really could be the downfall of them niggas, real talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Having that money, having that fame and shit like that around certain people. That's why you got to get your money and get the fuck up out of there. Real talk. Do your homework on getting your money and leaving the hood, bro. Leave all that shit the fuck behind, bro. That's what he should have did.
Same references, the same energy, except now it wasn't just for content. This is usually how it happens. You get money, but not enough to fully separate. You get clout, but not enough to relocate. You get attention, but not enough protection. So
Right.
instead of leaving the environment, you start mixing roles. Comedian online, street dude offline, and that's a dangerous balance. And by the
You gotta
time the
figure out a
internet
way to
started
get the
clowning
fuck up out
MK
of there,
for being
man.
too extra, the investigation was already deeper than anyone realized. Because while fans were laughing and critics were calling it self-snitching, street life doesn't care if you're famous. It only cares if you're involved. And once those two worlds fully collided, there was no way out that didn't end ugly. The raid wasn't random. The charges weren't sudden. They were the result of time, attention, and a lifestyle that got documented too well. And when the knock finally came, it came heavy.
Damn.
In December 2023, everything MK Slatt had been building online and offline came to a hard stop. Early in the morning,
I remember that shit too. I remember seeing that shit all over the news, motherfucking all over the internet. MK Slatt arrested in drug charges, blah, 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 blah. Damn, it was looking bad for bro.
around 7 a.m., multiple law enforcement agencies pulled up to a residence in Irondale, Alabama to execute a search warrant connected to an ongoing
Why they show the
narcotics
police cars of
investigation.
Chicago
This wasn't
and
a
shit,
random bust. This wasn't local cops acting on a tip. This was coordinated. According to official reports, the operation involved the Leeds Police Department, the Irondale Police Department, and later drew attention from federal agencies, including the ATF and Homeland Security. Inside the residence, officers took multiple individuals into custody, including MK Slatt real name Markel Demetrius Holmes, along with
Damn.
several associates. What they allegedly found is what changed everything. Police reported recovering multiple firearms, including Glocks, equipment used to convert semi-automatic weapons into fully automatic firearms, commonly known as switches, illegal narcotics, including fentanyl and methamphetamine, drug packaging materials, and paraphernalia. According to authorities, the residence was allegedly being used as a drug packaging and distribution location, not just a place people were hanging out. That distinction matters because possession is one thing, trafficking is another, and modifying firearms pushes it into a whole different category. Law enforcement publicly stated that the scale of what was recovered suggested organized activity, not personal use. That's when the
Damn.
narrative officially shifted from internet comedian arrested to something much more
So
serious.
it looked like a
Serial-
nigga was running a whole trap house. They did their homework and it looked like the nigga had a whole motherfucking trap going, like a whole people in positions. You do this, you watch the door, you back this shit up. Hey, hold on. I don't know how they was doing it. I'm just saying it's what it sound like they saying. You know what I'm talking about?
Bailey here at the live desk. 5 people face charges after a drug bust in Irondale, and one of them is a popular social media influencer. 21-year-old Marquez Holmes is charged with 2 counts of drug trafficking and possession charges. Holmes has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube and thousands on TikTok, known to many as Slimeball MK. 4 others face drugs and weapons charges as well. Police say they found fully automatic weapons, drugs, and stolen property during a search warrant at a house in Irondale.
The bond amounts told the story before the internet even caught up. Some defendants were hit with bonds in the hundreds of thousands. MK Slatt himself was reportedly given a multi-million-dollar bond. That's not normal.
Damn.
Once firearms with switches are involved, the federal government doesn't treat it lightly. A
Multi-million-dollar
single switch
bond is
can
crazy.
carry mandatory prison time on the federal level. Combine that with narcotics trafficking, and suddenly the situation goes from state trouble to career-ending consequences. While the
Right,
internet was
right.
still trying to figure out what happened, the system was already moving. This wasn't a content moment. This wasn't a headline that fades in a week.
This is
was the
some real
type
shit.
of case that changes lives permanently. And as news spread, fans started realizing something uncomfortable. The jokes didn't protect him, the clout didn't slow it down, and the internet didn't help it hurt. Because now every old post looks different. Every skit, every flex, and every visual. All of it became context. MK Slatt's story isn't rare, it's just public. It shows
Right,
how
right.
fast clout can turn into a trap. How self-snitching doesn't feel dangerous when the algorithm rewards it, and how the system doesn't care if you were just joking. Once the persona controls you, the ending usually isn't yours to write. If you a YN, a creator, or anybody chasing attention, understand this. The internet never forgets, and the streets don't care who you are online.
Hey, that's crazy, man. I hate to end the video right there, man. Like, I hope my nigga MK Slatt is cool, man. I hope he got all that taken care of, man, and wasn't jammed up. You know what I'm saying? And my nigga ain't facing no serious time, because a $2 million bond is crazy. That's super crazy. But like they said, this shit happened in 2023. So, hey, I don't know the situation with MK. I ain't really been seeing him online like that lately. But, hey, I hope bro figure that situation out, man. Hey, That's all I got on that. It's your boy King Mister, man, and we out.